guys, it's Monday. I'm actually going to start the week with some cornering practice. So going to go out to there's a newly paved bit of tarmac just down the road from me. I found in a couple of corners yesterday, and I have found this in the past, that I don't counterbalance my weight enough in the corner a lot of the times, and then when the corner gets steeper for the speed I'm going at, I need to lean the bike, and I end up leaning with the bike rather than being more balanced in the moving that centre of mass to the opposite, to the outside of the corner. I'm too planted in the saddle. I end up leaning with the bike, and then it's like, okay, we could be running out of grip here because my centre of mass is too far to the inside of the corner. Not doing the motorcycle lean of putting your knee inwards. If you actually do the opposite, then it will help you shift your hips to the other side of the bike to hopefully balance it out. So I'll play around with that, see if that works. Yeah, just try and get a little bit more confident at it. I'll do some cornering, maybe like 20 minutes, and then get out on the bike for just an hour and a half easy spin, and then gym this afternoon. So it's the pushing down and the cue of, rather than leaning your knee into the corner, you lean your knee into the bike, as that helps you shift your weight. Because I'm normally like too planted in the saddle, and then I'm like, I know I need to get my weight over to the outside of the corner, but I can't do that. Rather than moving my knee like a motorcyclist into the corner, you do the opposite, and then that just like shifts your hips to the outside of the bike, and allows you to, you're not as fixed in the saddle. The more upright you can stay, the more you can lean the bike. So yeah, obviously just taking it very steady, like cornering my same grandma speed that I normally do. As I get used to how the bike's able to lean more, you can corner more sharply and at faster speed. So yeah, we'll keep doing this for a bit more. Tennis court crit. Hands are actually quite sore. It doesn't feel like I'm over gripping or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if I am, if that upper body is way too tense. I think I'll come back with some cones tomorrow, set up some mock corners, and try and work on like hitting the apex. I'll hold you accountable. Already feeling a lot more natural, and this is definitely the way to go. No shit. But yeah, I feel like I'm better at turning right than turning left, which is like the opposite of what you want for UK road racing. What your left turn wants to be much better, but maybe it means I'm alright at going round roundabouts for time trials. So, but yeah, just keep working on them both, and they'll improve. Do this every day this week, and for the foreseeable future, just getting more confident on the bike again. There's a little challenge. There's a tight exit ramp with a tight corner there. See if we can do that by the end of the week, eh? Just on a couple of corners already, it feels so much more natural. Doing this kind of over-exaggerated shifting of the body weight, you practice the good technique, so when it actually comes to the harder corners, where it becomes important to have proper leaning and body weight distribution, you'll be better at it. Every corner that you take, you're going to have some degree of lean in the bike. So if it's like a shallow corner or you're going at low speed, you have a lower lean angle, so the shifting of the body weight is less significant, but it's when you get to the higher speeds and the tighter corners where there's a higher degree of lean that's needed to get round, and therefore you need to shift the body weight. Otherwise your center of mass is going to be way too far over the bike, and you're going to come down and lose grip. Learning how to shift that body weight, even in like pedaling corners that are high speed, light corners, like not significant turns. Sometimes when I'm riding in the bunch, I'm like, fucking hell, they're still pedaling through this corner. But it's because my body weight wasn't shifting in the saddle, and I was just planted in the middle of the saddle. Even for a low degree of lean, you can shift your body weight a little bit, and it's gonna balance the bike out a bit more. Every corner it matters, it's just to different extents, but making sure you're comfortable at shifting your body weight. Keep practicing at every corner until it becomes natural. Unlearn some bad habits. horrible. So warm in here. Definitely keeping the blinds shut and the lights off because, yeah, it's toasty, man. Sweating. Whew. Bit tired as well, but yeah, just getting it done. Not got much motivation for gym, but get my 1 session a week done and it will pay dividends, you know, keep maintaining that good level of strength. Yeah, just rather be out on the bike. I'm making sure I'm keeping the bike stuff under control. I'm not doing way too much. Like 14 hours last week, 14 hours week before, and aim for about the same this week. I think that's good for me. And because of the intensity, it's still like a pushing on 900 TSS. It's a lot of training. And then next week I'm going to have a rest week, so I'm going to take the weekend off, probably like 12 hours, 600 TSS for the week. 3 weeks at 14 hours. Tell me that 3 months ago, I'd be like, what? Are you serious? Like, why are you that low on the volume? But I think that's the way to go. I don't think I should be doing much more than that right now. Increase it a little bit after the rest week, get up to that 15, 16 hour range, but not 20, not ready for that. Hey guys, it's Tuesday. Got a TT threshold session today, but starting out with some cornering practice. So going to go to the tarmac to set out the corners with the cone. So I'm like trying to hit the apex of the corner, like sighting the corner and then trying to take a nice line through it. So yeah, it's silly, but I need to do a lot of work on this stuff and I think it's going to really help. So yeah, I'm going to keep cracking on with it. And it's already feeling better already. So yeah, it's only up from here. So I'm optimistic about it. So yeah. If you're track standing or you're out the saddle, like it's so noticeable that you lean the bike to one side and your weight goes to the other side. So it's all just the same practice really. Just trying to track stand, you're finding that balancing point of how you're leaning the bike and counter leaning your weight as that like balances your weight, rather than if you're planted on the saddle, you have to be perfectly balanced to stay still. Whereas if you bring out the two counterweights, so you're leaning the bike and then you're pushing your weight to the other side, it's much easier to find that balance. Cones out, do some figure of eights. Going well, I think. I'm actually really enjoying this, as silly as that sounds. Yeah, I feel myself actually getting better at it, so it's like, okay, yeah, this is definitely the way to go. And there's so much more to ride. I originally started this cycling thing as just like, oh, I really just want to push myself with the training and seeing how far that can go, and thought that cycling was just all about the training. But there's so much more to it that's actually really interesting to me. So the aerodynamic side of things, the pacing side of things, the relationship between power, aero, pacing that I've been diving into over the past few weeks, and then this cornering thing, like it's all part of it. And before I just brushed the cornering thing off as I'm not a very good cornerer, I'm never going to be a very good cornerer. I just need to get to like a decent level that I can hang on to everyone. But yeah, like it's all just physics at the end of the day. Get around a corner as fast as possible. It's just like how much you can lean the bike and how much you can shift your weight to counteract that leaning. So yeah, continue to practice this and get the hang of it over the next few weeks and months and years. Half an hour of this. Now I'll go do some actual training. Finish my warm up. Going to be another warm one. Ice vest on. Fan going, get my second fan going as well, keeping the blind shut and the lights off. Going to do a 3 minutes of maximal fatigue test at 400 watts and 15-minute tempo around 320, 330, and then onto the main brunt of the session, which is a 45-minute threshold effort in TT position. Last week I did 355 for 40 minutes. This week I've got 45 minutes, so 355. If better than that, fantastic. So somewhere between 350 and 360 should be good. Try and keep it as cool as possible. Can't have that fan going as long as it did last week because it died on me before the end of the threshold effort. So I'll take the vest off now, turn the fan on the low setting, do my sub-max fatigue test and my tempo effort, then whack it up to a higher setting and do my threshold effort. Warm already. Quite heavy legs, and I'm changing gears in a different way because I'm using my whoosh rather than Train Peaks Virtual. Time to exhaustion for that sub-maximal fatigue test, maybe. Felt fine, felt really under control, just heavy legs, which
isn't necessarily like a bad thing. Isn't necessarily mean you'll blow up, but maybe time to exhaustion 10 minutes, RPE 7, spin out for a second now, then do a 15-minute tempo effort, get the legs used to holding position, and then have a crack at the 45-minute threshold. Some ways better than last week, some ways worse. Power was about the same. It was like 350, and then I just lifted it up for the last like 5 minutes or so and brought it back to 354. It was like more under control, heart rate was significantly lower, felt easier, but at the same time my legs were really heavy, and I didn't feel as comfortable in the saddle, so I was shifting up the cadence a bit more. Comfort in the saddle was what was limiting my power there, rather than, even though my legs were heavy, I was still able to produce good power at good cadence, but it's like if I did the high cadence for too long, it got uncomfortable in the saddle, but go to a lower cadence, it kind of brings some weight off the saddle a little bit. Generally pretty good going. It was a hot one again. Probably not as hot as last week, or maybe I'm more used to it. Overall, good session, so can't complain with that really. Right, that'll do me. Hop off now. Wham. Ah yes, the classic bike maintenance rest day. I've signed up for my first TT, which is 10 days time, so Friday next week. Good Friday 10 miler on the 714, which is a event I did last year, so it'd be good to return to that course and see if I've made some improvements. A delay with the getting on the new team bike for this year, so I'm going to be racing on my old bike for a couple of races to start the season, and then hopefully get sorted on the Trinity as soon as possible. But yeah, make sure the Cervelo's ready. Sorted out my wheels, they're upstairs, and yeah, they're all good. So I haven't actually got a power meter on this bike at the moment, so I'm going to change the 165mm cranks out for 170s that have a power meter on them. So I need to change the chain rings across. Then over the next few days, check I'm happy with this position, and then tape up all the loose cables, because the DI2 cables are still all over the place. Normally I have those when I'm racing. I have those taped up, so I'll sort that out. But I think I might move the pads a bit further down, because I've been going to a shorter reach, but I kind of have my forearms on the pads. When if I move them further down, then it's more like my elbows on the pad, so it's a bit more stable. But yeah, change that out so I can. It's also I can run the split play cleats for the first time in a race, because I could run the 165s plus the Asioma. I'll do a TT session next week before that race, and you'll be able to see if, because I have a left-sided power meter, I'll be able to compare it to the kicker core, and I'll be able to see if I've made any improvements in my left leg, because I've been working hard on my rehab exercises to work on my pinch nerve. And I feel like my left leg's in a much better state, but so it'll be interesting to see if that power from the left-sided power meter has come up to close to the kicker, or if it's still the typical offset of 20 to 40 watts at the relevant testing efforts. Optimistic that it could be the case, but if it's not, then who cares? Rest of the team kit is here. There's no pins, bib shorts, long and short jerseys. This is a TT skin suit with aero pocket. They're slightly different to the one the road race suit I've got. Overshoes, and then hypersonic base layer as well. So here's a TT skin suit with the pocket that you'd access from the inside. Very sleek. Hey guys, it's Thursday, start of the heat wave for the next 2 days, and it's going like 20 degrees, so 20 degrees and low wind, so yeah, it's going to be warm. Getting out to the tarmac, doing some cornering practice, and then I've got a session today, so going to be doing reps of Roper Hill again, so going to be doing 8 by 1 minute reps of Roper Hill, and then probably again 3 by 3 minutes high torque efforts up the same hill that I did last week, just like a maintenance level of torque. So yeah, should be good. New kit as well, so trying out the short sleeve jersey, nice and tight, but it's a good fit. So yeah, I actually thought of a reason why longer cranks might be better for not necessarily taller riders, but certainly heavier riders. So what with the proper cornering technique, with moving your weight to the outside leg and putting that outside leg down, and not only just putting it down, but you try and shift your weight onto that leg. If the crank is actually longer, then you're going to be able to shift that. You don't actually have to move your hips as much. Just naturally you're going to be able to put more weight on that outside leg, and therefore you're going to be able to lean the bike more without stacking it,
But with proper cornering technique, if you're able to move your hips and shift your weight, you should be you'll be absolutely fine on shorter cranks. The struggles of being 85 kg. Right, done my warm up and my 7 sprints. Yeah, seeming good. A nice, lovely day as well, obviously. So 50 minutes in, so head over to Roper, start my efforts. So 8 by 1 minutes up Roper Hill, and then 3 by 3 minutes high talk. So yeah, head over to Roper over there. Oh, have a sit down. Yeah, got it done. Went out a bit aggressive. I think my third one was, I had to reset at the start of my second one because there was a tractor coming down the road, and then my third one, I think I smashed it a bit too hard. I did like 660 for a minute. So then after that I was suffering a little bit, and I was just thinking, right, get to the 6th one, and then the 7th and 8th, they're just gravy. So the 6th one was really hard and I was really suffering, but got the next 2 done. They weren't pretty, probably like 620, but yeah, got them done. Hard work, obviously hotter today as well, so it's going to be harder. But yeah, happy with that. Spin out for 40 minutes or so, do my 3 by 3 minutes high talk, and then that'll be me. Good stuff. Ooh, I'll sit down for a minute though. Bloody hell. Did my cornering practice, going down Roper Hill 7 times. But the hairpin's actually on an off camber. The bend is on a slope going towards the outside, therefore you can't lean as much into the corner. It basically increases your effective lean angle, so you've got less grip in the tyres. So you just have to take it slower, and not lean as much. Also realised everyone does the motorcyclist thing where they point their inside knee towards the corner, and to get my hips moving, I don't do that. I do the opposite to get my hips shifted. But I realised that the knee is you point the inside knee with where you're kind of wanting to go. That's kind of what it does, because your weight's already all shifted on your outside leg. There's not actually that much weight on your knee, so even though you're pointing it into the corner, it's probably not shifting your centre of mass that much, and it's just pointing you kind of where you want to go. Yep, 2 by 3 minutes high talk's gonna have to do today. Quality just wasn't there on the second one. First one wasn't great, second one just had nothing left. I had like a half an hour rest after my 8 by 1 minute. During that rest, could tell I was pretty tired still. Went really deep on those hill reps, so didn't have anything left for the talk stuff, but you know, it's all good. Some maintenance talk work, so I'm not too concerned about varying it up as to, I mean, they're already like lower newton meters than what I was doing during the winter. Well, they are outside, different power meter, no erg mode. The hill reps were the main brunt of the session, and I'm really happy with those, so can't complain. 40 odd minute spin now. Top me up to around 3 hours, that'd be good. Dang, my integration factor be cooking. Oh, what was the best 1 minute? 690, what a beast. Another lovely morning, starting out with some cornering practice, then head back now and then get out for 3 odd hours zone 2 and practice that cornering out on the road. Try and do some try and pick a route that has some more technical sections, and yeah, just practice the cornering, get better at it, and yeah, I'm feeling improvement already, which is really nice. Getting the hang of how to shift my body weight on the bike as I'm leaning the bike, and yeah, feeling really good. Nice 3 and a bit hour ride. Started out really tired. After the first hour I was feeling alright, and yeah, it's been hard in the heat, 20 plus degrees all ride, but feeling decent. Heart rate under control, core temperature under control, maybe just because my power is lower. Yeah, nice and hilly route today, so that I can work on the descending practice. Tricky corners to navigate, not going crazy on the corners, but I'm just feeling a lot more confident on them, doing them at the same speed or higher speed with the new technique, so yeah, that's really promising. Hi guys, it's Saturday, just out for my opener ride before East Cleveland Classic tomorrow. First ever Nat A. After our Danham Trophy went last week, it's going to be hard work, but you know, been working on my cornering, so hopefully I can stick with the punch and get round. Bit of an opener ride, so just riding at recovery pace, but 3 minute tempo effort and like 4 sprints, and yeah, feeling good, so see how I get on tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock, time to head to Saltburn by the Sea for the East Cleveland Classic, my first ever Nat A Prem. Yeah, Dunham Trophy was really hard last week, so but I've been working on my cornering, so hopefully I'm confident enough to stay with the bunch, and yeah, we can just get round on the day, because it's going to be a hard one, 100 miles, 100 miles of challenging terrain, and it's going to be wicked fast. But yeah, no reason I can't get round, so let's have that as a good aim. A bit far from HQ, but my move to Carver. Yeah. Got an hour and a half to get my shit together and then head off to the start. Well, accumulate outside the leisure centre. I didn't get sent a race programme. It's like a national day, super well organised in some ways, but then they forget to send out your race programme and they're just like assuming you know things. But you know, grab hold of it regardless, and should be absolutely fine. Another lovely day. We've had such a good spell of good weather. Like for the last 2 weeks, it's been baking hot and sunny every day. And I think today's the last day of it. I think rain's coming next week, and it's sticking around. So a bit more conventional for April, but yeah, we've had summer at the start of spring. It's pretty decent. So enjoy the last day of it. Have a good race. Right, let's sort out all my numbers and shit. It's about 1:30, so give myself a little spin up and down the road. Head off to the starting point, get briefed, and yeah, get out on the road, see how it goes. Well, I got the authentic Prem experience of getting my head kicked in. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting it to be bloody difficult, but yeah, I was savage. I think I made it round, so it was a 25k lap, and I think it made it round about 3/4 of the way around the first lap, so like 20 odd k, probably 30 minutes. To be honest, I was doing so much better than last week. Like I was holding the wheel better, but most importantly, I wasn't losing. Well, if I was losing some ground through the corners, it was not nearly as bad as last time. But the thing is, I just needed to be in the main bunch. Like the drafting that you're getting in the main bunch from many people in front of you and people to your sides is just so much more beneficial than me holding the wheel of the guy at the back. And it's like, oh, you just need to get up there, just need to be in the main pack. But at the end of the day, unless we're all bunched together, there's always going to be people stringing off the back, and that's just me at the moment. I'm just not good enough for this level of race. So the Nat Bs and the Nat As, the Prems, I'm just not ready for it. So I'm not going to bullshit myself. I'm just not quite good enough. Power is probably good enough, but technically and confidence wise, just not quite there. Which is fine. I'll just be honest with myself. The cornering was definitely something good I've been working on this week, because I felt so much better through each of those corners. Like I say, I wasn't really losing the wheel, and there was a lot more corners than last week. So if I'd done that cornering practice before Danham last week, I think I would have had a better time of it, but it still would have been difficult. I wasn't blindly following the guy in front of me and just trusting their line through the corner. Like I was like confident in myself through each of the corners, but I was just cornering at a higher speed than last week. Because at the end of the day, like it got to the first corner, 2 people crash, and then like a faster descent corner. A bit further on, like two more people go off the road. So it's just like you can't just follow the guy in front of you and just expect you'll be fine. Like obviously I said that last week that you just follow the guy in front and you'll be fine, but with the getting your balance right in the corner, you could just stack it even if the guy in front of you makes it around the corner. If he's got his weight balance better and you don't, there's no reason why you don't stack it. I want to be confident in myself that I'm going to make it round the corner, not just trusting the guy in front of me. So yeah, I really can't complain with how I rode. I just needed to be confident to be up there in the bunch, but at the end of the day, like I don't want to make the excuse, and I'm going to be getting my disc brake. I'm getting my disc brake road bike tomorrow, but it is different on rim brakes. Like you just can't. There's just that lag. You can't slam on the brakes like people do with the disc brakes. And even after I got dropped, there was the most technical descent down to the Saltburn bank, and to be honest, I almost overcooked one of the corners just by myself, just because I'm like didn't scrub off enough speed, and it's a big sweeping corner, sketchy road surface. I didn't scrub off enough speed, so I'm having to scrub off speed through the corner, which you don't want to be doing. You don't want to be braking while leaning the bike.
you're just going to limit the grip in the tyres there. So if I was in the bunch for that and I was pushing it, that could have been bad. So yeah, probably good that I got dropped before I did. But yeah, focus on the time trials. Got my first time trial next week, so back in Hull on the V714 Classic. It's the Good Friday 10 miler, which is the event I did last year where I did the fastest time on the day. I did 20 minutes 8 seconds, but because I was 30 seconds late to the start, I got a 30-second time penalty, and then I ended up coming third, where the winner did 20:36, second place did 20:37, I think, and I did 20:38 because of my time penalty. So go back to that event with a vengeance and yeah, secure the win. At least low 19 on that course. No reason why I can't. My aero is much better. My understanding of pacing is much better. Power should be good. Got an easy week next week, which ends with the time trial on the Friday. Then I'll take the weekend off. So yeah, it's good that I've tried these Nat Bs and Nat As, but yeah, definitely going to ease off them, focus on the time trialing, maybe do regional A road races when those are in the calendar, but probably not quite ready for the national stuff, and maybe I will be with time, but yeah, not yet. So focus on the time trialing a bit more. Good ride, just had 2 laps to go, so watched them come past and had a chat with Simon. That was good. I think the plan is we return to same side, keep doing the crits, get better at cornering, get more confident in the bunch, basically treat it like a chain gang. I mean, I have a couple of chain gangs in my area, but it's not consistent enough in terms of like turnout. Like sometimes there'll be like 3 or 4 riders. Same side, I can reliably get 15 riders out, and it's going to be hard race pace, fast corners, and it's going to do me good. So yeah, keep doing the crits, probably some regional A road races, to try and like see if the crits have been working, the cornering can get better, be more comfortable in the bunch, and yeah, obviously focus on my time trialing and get some nice results there. Time to head on home. At least I'll be home at a sensible time, get back for 6 o'clock rather than 8. One benefit of not being nearly good enough to hang with the big boys.